Hello, everyone, and welcome to another week of ECafe.
What's going
I was
on?
gonna sing a song, but that doesn't.
Okay, we might have a little echo, so let me see if I can
We
fix
need-
our echo as everybody comes
Don't
in.
we not have like an intro song or something?
What if someone we should get some missions for
Hey,
people
that's a great
to
idea.
send in an intro like video, intro song. I think that'd be really
We
cool.
absolutely need
An intro song.
submission to ECafe. Like when we come in, like you know.
Something fun and spunky.
Sorry, I think we had something ish. Okay, let's see if this will work.
Oh, Ozzy! Hey, Ozzy!
Hey, Ozzy!
Oh
Put
my
up-
gosh, your baby girl must be like a grown woman about to go to high school or something.
Hey, Janessa! Hey, Kathy!
Yes, Janessa, do it.
Eh.
Janessa's gonna send in an intro of pew pew pew.
I will take on a pew pew pew.
You know
option.
what? We should have a pew 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 sound, and then just have Adrian's floating head in the screen, like.
Wait, why do I get the floating head?
Because
Why?
you made it up, right? So like, your face should be the.
Okay, let me see if one of these. Okay, so I did have one of these, right? I'm gonna try to share a video file and see if it. This might fail massively, so let's see if it fails. If it fails, this was Dave's fault. Okay.
Well, I mean, if it fails, you're trying things on the spot, which is.
Hey man, this is ECafe. We're all amongst family here, so I don't know which one this is. So let's see what happens. I'm gonna try.
Brave.
I'm gonna try this.
If you're just.
All right, here we go.
All right, let's see.
Just tuning into ECafe. Oh, it says whoops. Doesn't look like we have a video track available. All right, I'll have to pull it off next week on the spot here as people are coming in. Welcome to ECafe, where Adrian Langdon is experimenting on
the
what we
spot.
can do for our intro videos.
Yes. Hey.
Check out this
Anne-Marie.
watch tan though.
Hey, Cecile. Whoa.
see so many people coming
What
in.
have you been doing?
Just being
Just
outside,
been
just
chilling
being.
outside.
I hate that this side never gets any sun.
Well, you gotta lay like this.
I don't want to intentionally go tanning. Here's a crown it or frown it. Going intentionally tanning. Well, I want to know if people's thoughts are.
Intentional tanning. Well,
Frown.
tanning.
I don't want
intentional
skin-
tanning.
I don't want skin cancer.
Yeah, like go out on the lawn and then or like on your rooftop. I feel like some people might do that, like rooftop tanners.
Yeah, there's definitely
Versus just being outdoors.
So
I'm going to go tanning.
Yeah.
Do we have any tanners in the bunch? Are there any?
I don't know.
Wait. What type of tanners? Like tanners like in the sun or
On the-
tanners in the tanning?
Like in the sun, like going.
in the sun. Because
I'll
there's
say
different
that.
types of tanners, and there's self tanners, right? There's like the ones you buy that you put on yourself. So like this
Yeah.
is like
Bronzers?
levels. This is levels.
There are levels to it. Okay,
There's
I'll take your word
there's
for it.
levels to this, isn't there? Man,
Wait, hold
I don't
on.
know
So
that.
I realize we do have a guest. So there is a pew pew moment as we're getting our responses from any tanners. I know that Marie is a big tanner. I know that that's a big move for her. So
Mari or Marie?
no, Marie.
Oh.
So I think Marie's saying, "Hey everyone." She's like, "Hey everyone, I'm a tanner." I think is what she was trying to say.
No, I think she's saying hi.
So let's see. I think we did have a guest. So who's our third group this week? So let's just get we check our ECafe special guest. Let's
We're
get you
starting
guys.
special guests early.
You already know what to do. We're gonna pull them on early and keep them on for a bit. Let's see if we can coax them to stick around for a little bit. Here we go with our special guest. Pew 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 pew.
Dave, what happened to your pews?
No,
Oh,
pews.
sorry.
Yay!
We got surprised. We got surprised. Oh wow, we're there.
Early.
Hey guys,
Hi.
how are you doing? You
I
guys
like-
can hear and see us well, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Can you hear us?
Yes,
How about
sir.
now?
You're fine.
Perfectly.
Okay.
I like the what is it called? What's game? Scrabble. I like the Scrabble in the background
I love that. That's
with
so
the
creative.
intentional fish. That is right there.
But they have that custom made. Yes, the fish.
That's so cool.
And
I love that.
he was
I love
against it because he assumes that everyone's going to think we're Scrabble players, and we're not. But I love the fun. But he always wins every game we ever play, and he won that one too without even realizing it.
Are you serious?
Yeah. I didn't
All right,
realize
so-
it, I got it on the wall.
So I do have a question to you, fish families. You guys are here. Where did you guys stand with the tanning? I know that Jeff was typing in the meantime and kind of said they're fun except when you wake up burned. So
Yes, those are the worst.
he said Anne and I went intentionally tanning yesterday, but ended up sunburned. Too much fun Too much sun in Sanibel.
What's
Ooh.
Sanibel?
Where's Sanibel?
That
Anderson,
that sounds like
where's
it's in
Sanibel?
Is that Florida?
Oh, they might be in Florida. So jealous.
You know what's funny? I'm looking at the names in the background, and like Madeline, Maddie, Nate, Nathan, Sarah's there. I forget that Jeff's full name is Jeffrey.
You were trying to figure out who Jeffrey was?
I just thought his name was just Jeff. Like it's just Jeff. Is your full name is Jeffrey?
Yes, it is.
I forget that people named Jeff have a fuller name than just Jeff.
Do they though? So, are there people that maybe just
That are
name
just
their
named
kids
Jeff?
Yeah. Spell it with a G, maybe.
I have a friend named
Jeff.
Jeff, spelled with a G. Geoff.
Oh.
Isn't that Geoff?
That's what we used to call him.
Joff.
Geoff.
Geoff?
Well, just like Aaron at
Geoff.
church, we always call him Aaron. So yes, but I have a question.
That's
So
true.
who gets to call you Jeffrey, or who calls you Jeffrey? Maybe we start there.
My mom.
And that's a very short list.
Yeah, it's actually great because the people who call you that, you can always tell if someone doesn't really know you. Like they're responding to an email at work, and they're like, "Oh, thanks, Jeffrey." Yep.
Oh, got it.
He's like that. Got you. Just met. We're just getting together.
That's true.
The kids
honestly.
definitely don't get the Jeffrey privilege, do they?
No.
She laughed. She laughed at the trouble she was gonna get into. Thanks for the food, chef.
Isn't that so weird? Like, yes. The first time the kids called my name, like Leilani, I was like,
Excuse
who
me.
you talking to? Like, I had to do the quick like head snap, like,
Okay, calm down. We're okay. We're okay. We're
what's
okay.
happening?
They were
Like, I
just
had to
playing around.
pause everything. I'm like, what's going on? You can't know my name. My name is Mommy, and that's it.
That's a question for the chat. At what point do you ever let your kids call you by your first name? If there's ever a situation.
Never.
I'm with Leilani.
Yeah,
Earn that mom title and that dad title.
Right.
never sounds
That
about
would
right.
be weird.
Never definitely sounds about right. There's a big never for me on that one. Sorry.
Mirna, yes, never.
We're getting our
Anderson,
answers.
never.
When is it appropriate for your kids to call you by? Okay, let's. We want to make sure this
So-
is clear. When is it appropriate for your kids to call you by your first name? Correct.
Well, here's what happened with me. I went to an all Filipino church, right?
I was about to say.
And all the church moms are in the same area, and I yell "mom,"
Okay.
and
everybody-
everyone turns around.
Of course, that happens everywhere.
Right? So, the next time I walked in that
No.
room,
No.
I said, "Grace,"
What?
and the face
You are
that
the
she made when she
bravest.
turned around, because she turned around because she heard someone call her name, and then she scanned the room, and then saw that I said Grace, and then she looked at me and she's like, "I'm not coming over there."
Yeah. Well, not going over there, and you better wait, because when I see you next, you're gonna get it.
This is great. Jamie said when they get their own job, money, home. Here's my favorite one. Life. Like a brand new life. Like you appear as a new
You
human.
call your mom Pam.
Yeah. Me?
Yes, when you're like when you're trying to like say something. Like,
Oh, if I'm playing with my mom.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, listen.
Like
if I
Pam,
can, if I can create a mood of loving joking where we're all at the same degree of laughter, yeah, I can get away with lots of things. That's about it for me. There we go. Ami said, or when I want a separate disc.
Disco. That's right, Marty.
Okay, add this here. Ozzy says, my daughter calls me by my name, first name. She says, Mom, and then switches to my name. So here, Dave, I think you add this to the list of things that are cute when they're really, really young
Yeah.
and become less cute as they get older.
Yes.
Okay. That is.
Question. So, in your family, Sarah, Jeff, Nate, Maddie, has anybody ever tried it? Like, just took it for a spin? Like, took a Jeff out for see what it felt like? Maddie kind of half nodded her head. Say it again?
Once or twice.
Once?
Or something.
Just take it for a spin.
I just recall like when they were in preschool and they have the Mother's Day little teas, and they give you a list of all the questions they asked the kids before you came that day, and you're reading through it. And do you know your mom's name and her weight? I think Nathan said I weighed 37 pounds and I was 102 years old. And so that time, I think he's used my real name. But that's probably about it.
Got it.
I think I went through that same exercise in elementary school, and a kid legit didn't know his mom's first name. He just called her mom. And this was in like fourth grade already.
But that's like a real thing.
He was raised right.
Sure. I'm pretty sure.
He was raised well.
Because we asked him like, what's everyone's like parents' names, and he goes, Mom and Dad.
Yes. Yeah, that is the appropriate response. I actually see zero flaws in that response. What are your parents' names? Mom and Dad. No, but what are their real names?
Mom and Dad.
I think that's. What are the names that don't get me in trouble? That's Mom and Dad.
I love that.
Look, before we jump into anything else, on my screen, I see somebody who is actually having a birthday. So I don't know if you guys know this, but today is Sarah's birthday. There we go. Oh, no, you went to full party mode. They went full party mode.
Are we supposed to kiss, Dave?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, wait,
okay.
Oh.
When we come back, we're going to talk about the chiming and the kisses on that time. All right, you're right. Not Jeff and Sarah. You're right. It was Mr. Dad and Mrs. Mom who were saying happy birthday to here. But here we go. We want to give you a happy birthday song here, and a 1 and a 2. Happy birthday to you. Ooh, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Mom. It's just Mom. He's like, this is our chance. Happy birthday to you. Now, Dave, now's your chance. Now's when you do it. Now, where's the glass? Dave, you gotta get this. There you go. You got it. There we go. In the chat, you're getting all the happy birthdays popping up. All the love being sent your way. Absolute way. We appreciate you guys. Sarah is on our finance committee. And Jeff
keeps on the straight and narrow.
Yes. But I want to spend more. Sarah's like, nope. My total money makeover says you need to. It's like, oh.
Actually, I usually even it out because I'm the one that wants to spend money. But I've been trying to not be that way.
Look at you.
Oh,
my! During the song here, Madi has a question. Why are you muted?
Listen, one day we're gonna get Madi on.
Ask Soli, Madi.
Why she's muted?
Yeah.
Okay. No, I think Madi, I was gonna pull you on for the song, and then what happened was at first.
And then I didn't. That's
Dave, we only say that in the private chat. You're not supposed to say that to her face. We only say it in the private chat. There we go.
Oh man.
So here, this is a question I have here because Dave did it here with the glass clinking. For weddings, this is a big crown it or frown it. Whether you are a person who got married or you just attended, the glass clink for the kisses. Crown or frown?
Frown.
Glass.
Frown.
Going down.
No.
Going down. We got only frowns happening so far.
Frown.
Frown?
Yeah.
Frown.
Dave?
In what context?
Hopefully at your wedding, not just like on a subway.
Yeah, like some people might just like be like that's their first response to glass clinking. Like, oh, I gotta kiss someone. That might be something. That might be something for something.
Where have you ever been that's happened outside of a wedding?
I don't know. There's probably something out there. There's lots of cultures out there, Leilani.
I was.
No, it's terrible.
Thinking I'm gonna call it this for kisses.
Can we talk about that one time I went to a wedding and?
Oh, don't even get me. We'll wait to see if we whether we get. Okay, no, hold on. seems like it's
Wait.
going both ways. I like this. This is a good
Frown.
one.
Yep, Cecile.
Got a frown from Cecile.
Kathy,
I'll
yeah.
defer to what Nikki says.
A
about
frown. Bro, we'll wait to see what Nikki
Nikki's
says.
gonna say frown.
So
We got a crown from Mirna and a crown from Lisa.
I totally frown it, and so I did not allow it at our wedding. But I thought I was being smart, and I said people have to stand up at their table and sing a song with the word love in it. Not knowing that his family, I don't know what I was thinking. His family like loves to sing, so there was more singing going on than there was glass clinking.
And so that
You
means,
know what's shady about that is that Jeff probably knew that and just didn't say anything.
Right. So
That's
I
what
did
people
at a
say.
wedding where they had to hula hoop in front of the couple, and they left a hula hoop like on the floor in front. I should have done that. And anyone who's married beyond now, hula hoop.
Nice. Okay,
That's
well, let me
hilarious.
ask this question,
That's
right?
hilarious.
So, for those of you who frowned it in the chat, and as well for those of you who crowned it, why? And then here, for those of you guys who frowned it or crowned it, why are you against or for it?
It's awkward, right?
Yeah.
And they're making you do something you don't want to do at the moment. What if you just don't want to kiss someone?
You don't have a choice.
Well,
Yeah.
it's not so much the kissing. It's just awkward, and then like it's also inconvenient. Like this is the first time we're getting to sit down to eat, and it's like every time I go to put a bite in my mouth, it's like ding 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 ding, and I'm like,
Listen,
I'm
that's how she kissed me
100%
the
that
whole
guy who times that.
wedding. Listen, that is exactly how she kissed me our whole wedding. Just like,
no.
okay, we're getting the answers are definitely coming in. They are. It's saying, and so Andrew's saying it said it's probably cultural. Americans frown in PDA more than other countries, for
That's
example.
true. That's true.
Yeah, Marie said that Tyler is saying crown. That is-
Tyler has something in the works.
You know, Nikki and I were at a wedding right out of college, and the bride and groom had this fancy idea, and they said, okay, no glass clinking,
Okay.
but instead you have to come on the floor and show us how we should kiss each other. And so all these elderly couples were coming in, and 25 plus married couples, and they're like doing all these fancy kisses on in front of everyone. It was a big backfire. It was a big backfire.
Hey, this is a family show.
they've seen you guys kiss before. They definitely saw you guys kiss before.
So there was this wedding. Oh, go ahead.
Maria,
Never get to eat.
Kathy agreed
yeah,
with me.
yeah, it's terrible. There was this one wedding we went to that they didn't do the glass clinking, but they actually made they had a tiered approach. So remember, you had to donate a certain amount of money, and that determined the
a certain
level
type
of
of kiss.
kiss that you
That
had.
was genius. No, but it was genius.
Wow.
Okay, it was genius because they got money, and it was disgusting because
Yes,
we
yes.
had to witness.
Yes, we had to witness what
And most
$200
people,
is worth.
Yes.
Yes, I agree.
And Dave is so right. Like the boldest couples were like,
Let's go. Well, look,
the
Nikki,
older.
frown
Frown
for
for
Of course.
sure. For an introvert, that has to
Yeah.
be one of the roughest experiences. No, there he said, and here it is again. You're starving trying to put food in your mouth.
Yes, you're starving.
There we go. Oh, for the people who like it, she
Funny.
said it's funny.
Okay, it is funny. So as a clinker, when I go to a wedding,
A
I
clinker.
consider myself a clinker. I think it's funny because I know how annoying it is, but I hated it at my wedding.
I didn't even
Can we
get
can
cake.
we can we get a people in the chat to announce that they are self-proclaimed clinkers? Just like I'm a clinker.
So you can figure out who the problems are, who the problem people are. So this is the thing, right? So put in the chat if you're a clinker, and then for those of you who are not married yet, know that you'll see the people that you don't want to invite to your wedding. You can be like clinker, 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 and you just be like, all right, there we go. Nope, nope, nope. Right? It'll just save you so much. Hi, I'm Dave, and I'm a clinker. Okay, I have a question with. So Janessa said she crowned it, right? So Janessa, I have a question. What about Andre? So this is another follow up. Is Andre? Would he be a clinker or would he crown this moment? Oh, look at all the clinkers.
Guilty. It's such a habit. Well, it's also hard not to. So you're at this event, you're prim and proper, and you see the glasses. It's hard not to be like butter knife glass. Ding 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 ding. It's almost almost like also really difficult not to do that.
Well, even it's see, there we go. Right, there we go. Jamie said, I kissed my wife several times a day. So King of Glass was awesome for me. She goes, she was not feeling all that. It is so crazy how different people can be. We got another clinker. Guys.
Sarah and Jeff, are you guys clinkers at all? Like at someone else's wedding?
I think Leilani kind of put it perfectly. Like you hear the clinking, it's almost like clapping. You have to do it. Everybody have to start clinking. I wouldn't say that a lot of my way to start the clinking, but I'm definitely enjoying it. Probably.
She's an instigator all the way. She was definitely going out of her way to start it.
I probably am an instigator, but I wouldn't have done the hula hoop if that was standing in the middle of the dance floor.
She probably the people who have like rhythm, like bing, 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 bing. Yeah, they can't stop themselves. Well, here we go. Let's see what we got here.
Oh my god.
So there is. You go.
Effie said you can't have clinkers if you don't use real glass at the reception.
Listen, that's a thinking man.
Oh.
If you don't want people to clink at your wedding, paper cups.
Listen, people will find a way.
No, I've been to a wedding that didn't have glass, and they used their silverware.
Oh.
Find a way. We'll
People
find a way.
Silverware too, then.
Anything.
On the list of bad ideas, this is way up there.
Oh my gosh, that is so. I think that's more annoying than the clinking bells.
I could not do that, man. Like when I hear people like talk about like, oh, when my spouse got sick or whatever, I just gave them a bell. So that I'm like, do you know what that would do to my marriage? You know the damage that a bell to call my spouse would do to my marriage.
Oh my god.
Or vice versa. I could not handle that. I'm hungry.
Wedding sponsored by Solo, as what Emmy said.
Listen, that's not a bad brand partnership. That's not bad.
Well, here's the deal. There we go. He goes, my husband holds my hand when I clink. He's not a clinker. There we go. He got a big. This is really big, right? I think. So, what is it about relationships? So, this is marriages, friendships. I find that like you can get two people who are really close, and they're so different. How does that work? Like, help me understand the opposite. What is your guys' thoughts on opposite? Do you guys believe? Let's start. Do you guys believe opposites attract? Whether for friendships, good working relationships, marriages, what do you guys believe opposites attract?
I think you have to balance each other. You balance each other out. Well, for example, when I tend to lose my temper, he tends to be calm. And he knows when to step in when I'm losing it, and vice versa. Or like if you have a talker, and if you had two talkers, then nobody would be listening. So I'm probably more of the talker, obviously. He's more of the listener. Just
I need someone to listen to me.
It's like yin and yang. We balance each other out.
Okay. All right.
Wait.
Now, what about your opposite? Does your opposite feel the same way? He's like, I have an opposite opinion. Yeah. What, Jeff? What do you think? Do opposites?
Yeah, so we're not opposite in everything. I mean, there's a lot of things that we are similar in too. So I don't think you can be completely opposites, because I think then there would be too many problems if everything. But like obviously before we got married, we talked about all the main things that we, as far as being Christian and those types of things that we're on the same page on. But do we like all the same music? Not always. Do we like the same movies? Not always. But that's where you compromise and you do things because the other person likes it, and they do things that they don't necessarily like because you like it.
Well, and maybe the question is, do the opposites attract, but the differences might keep you together?
Well, keep you together or separate you, depending on what your perspective is.
Yeah. I really like that about her, because she's so outgoing and she's so talkative. And then maybe 10 years later, that might push you apart.
So like, I think that. So, what about you, Dave? What do you think? Do opposites attract?
I think me and Nikki got married. If Nikki's an extrovert, on her, like, she took the Myers-Briggs test, or one of those personality tests, and it was like 97% introversion, and I was 80% extroversion. So like, we're as apart in personalities as you can get. but I think opposite personalities attract, but I think opposite values detract. I think having the same values is where things kind of hold things together.
I can pick up what you're putting down.
Yeah.
I love camping. Nikki despises it.
Oh, you get me started.
I'm one of the people. Wait, hold on, Sarah. Do you not like camping?
No. Did I not mention that the RV trip we took last month was the very first camping trip ever that I enjoyed? Ever.
Well, that's RV.
So you didn't go camping.
That's why. We had an RV.
Wait, you guys took an RV trip. You guys rented an RV and traveled somewhere?
Just to Stark Rock, yeah.
Ooh. They do that. They have like RV rentals. It was like RV America or something like that.
Yep, that's what we did.
That's awesome.
Huh. I'm getting a couple of answers in here. We're getting the answer where the opposites attract.
Adrian, why would you put that in the chat?
See, what? I'm not.
Why
in
would
the
you
chat.
ask?
Wait, hold on, guys. We're here just having a good time, talking with our friends and neighbors.
Honestly, that is true. You're probably one of the couples that I know for sure that I can say opposites attract.
Yeah.
When it comes to introvert to extrovert,
Well,
they
right,
are.
yes, right, absolutely.
Well, here,
As far apart.
Like Dave at his wedding, it was so funny to watch. Nikki was running away the whole time, like, please just hide me in a closet.
Let me sit in the corner here until the wedding's done. Yeah.
And Dave was like, hey!
I think I danced the entire time.
No,
Yes.
Dave danced the entire time.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, this man's gonna have to take 5 showers because it's Florida.
And he's always
was
going.
sweating.
Yeah.
I mean, like at one point, all I saw was Dave. Were you sitting on a chair in the air? Like, were you
People were carrying you. Yeah.
like,
Yes.
it was just, and Nikki's like, I just wanna.
It was the most Nikki versus Dave thing. Like
Yo,
Dave,
ever.
Nikki had her wedding and Dave had his reception. Right? Like she was done. She was like, "This was a good time," and then the epitome of it was Nikki was sitting out just on the outside of the dance floor. Watching,
Yes,
happy,
just like-
smiling, having a good time, talking to people as they stop by, and Dave was literally being picked up on a chair by his friends. They were like, yeah, and he's like, yeah. Like that was literally their difference. It was awesome.
And then I pulled Nikki in. I made her
She
dance.
loved
There's
that.
a couple pictures. I'll put them up on my
She-
Facebook. You guys
She
can
hated
watch.
She loved that. Yep.
She hated that
She loved
so
that.
much.
Well, so Kathy asked, "Have you met Kathy and Alden?"
That
They are very
yeah,
they're very
That's
opposite.
a good one. That's a good one. Kathy and Alden.
I didn't hear Alden speak the first year that I worked here. My first year at Bolingbrook, I didn't hear Alden speak. I'm being honest. Tell me, am I lying?
No,
Am I
you're
lying?
not lying.
No, he was super nice, shaking hands, always greeted me, but somehow I realized he greeted me without actually. I don't know if he said words. Like in hindsight, because Kathy was maybe there with him, and just kind of like, oh, he just kind of like, okay, Kathy will take care of it.
Yeah,
so.
they are.
I actually think when Alden would say hi to me, he telepathically said hello. Like I heard
You
hello,
felt it.
but
You felt it. No, you felt hello. You felt loved. Like you felt like taken in because he has a warm smile, warm eyes.
yeah,
Strong nonverbal.
I just
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, strong nonverbal.
You feel his hello. That is great. That is great. All right. Where we got? It goes. This is great. Opposites definitely attract. I'm married and and then she goes, yes, like I'm funny and Anderson is not. Would you?
Oh man.
This is a great opposites
Wait,
attracting
are they
moment.
in the same location? Because this is great.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic.
So when Sarah and I were engaged, we did one of the
Okay.
engaged encounter
I was just
retreats,
thinking of this.
and like all the other couples were like telling their stories how they got together, and all of them were like, "Oh, I went to a bar and we got together then and we met," and we're judging them like good Christians, and, and then they get into the questions of like, what does everybody like and
Oh,
what are
no,
your
wait.
goals and everything. We got all of them wrong. Every single question.
But it wasn't
They were
just
like-
questions. Let me tell you how awkward this was. Like all the couples stood up, and if you answered this way, go to that side of the room. If you answered this way, go to that side of the room. Him and I were on opposite sides the whole time we were trying, and everybody else is with the person that they're supposed to be because they answered correctly. And I'm like, we answered. I was like, I thought we were doomed. I'm like, we answered
Yep.
the question wrong. Like,
We're losing.
No, I would have started to get upset at Adrian for not lying. Like just lie. Like come on.
And then at the same time, I would have been like, who cares what people think?
Right,
Once
exactly.
again, showing how different we are, right? Like the fact that I just be like, who cares what they think? Well, I should be like, I do. Say that you love the color pink. Get over here. You'd like to spend the entire day at Pottery Barn. Tell them yes and come over here.
I don't make that face. I don't know what's wrong with you.
All right, as we move on to our next one here. Here we go. We got.
We lost Dave. Oh, there
There
you
you
go.
go. Yeah, he disappeared. You're taking me off. There's a yes on certain traits, opposites attract, but I think values. Oh,
That's true.
Dave, you
No,
were you
it's
guys
the
sharing?
line.
You guys reading from the same playbook?
Where did I hear that from? I heard that from.
You heard it from Janessa.
No, I heard that from my anatomy professor in my senior year in high school.
I will not follow up on that state. Well, just because of.
To
Anyways.
an extent.
Yeah, no, you. Anyways, yes, you're anatomy professor. All right. To an extent, I believe we balance each other out. There we go. So Cecile,
I agree.
what is So you'd put Tom. In what ways are you and Tom opposite? If you're talking about you and Tom, if you're talking about work or friendships,
Or
you
general.
could just nail that. But if you're talking about you and Tom, what do you mean? How do you guys balance each other out, Cecile? Just so I get that. I'm not fine. I'll put on fine. Anne was joking. We'll take that off. There is definite opposite attract. I appear to be quiet one, but I'm not. Do you know what? That's true.
Marcia.
Marcy and Kevin.
That's true.
Kevin.
Kevin is
He presents
yes.
as being very verbal,
Yes.
but once he's comfortable, he kind of chills. He's not really talking a lot.
Well, Marcy's Latina. She's
But she presents quiet.
Yeah.
What does Marcy's Latina mean?
You know, we got a little
Dale!
Dale.
Feistiness.
Yes, apparently, that's what Jamie said. Yes, my wife is the dynamite when it comes to calm,
wait.
meaning that she's not calm. Like when it's calm, because not that she's like really good at being calm, right? Because
Dynamite.
all right, and I'm reasonable calm one to get us out of trouble. She just got us into there. We go. She goes. Also,
I also sing better.
That's so shady, Jamie.
Well, can I ask the fishes who's the best singer out of you four? These two?
Maddie.
These two. I don't sing.
She sings in
I've heard
an hour.
Yeah, I sing where no one can hear me.
I sing
I love
solo,
sing. I just
solo, no one
don't
can
sing
hear.
well.
Here's we do have some really good answers about a couple things here that I think it's really good for us to touch on. Nikki, do you think opposites attract? Billy, I think we got what we need there. I think we've accomplished anything we need as far as our answer goes from there. Myrna says that opposites do attract. I agree, man. I think it's been said here. Here we go. Anderson said, at the end of the day, marrying a female version of me would have been awful. Yes.
Dude, you know what's great? I just heard it was a TikTok. It was a TikTok video. So all my TikTokers out there, and it was this guy who gives relationship advice on TikTok, and it's actually pretty sound advice. And he says relationships are not the goal of relationship is not to change the other person. It's to change yourself, right? So like you're not asking them to change. Like you married them because of like who they are as people. And when you enter into conflict, it's not about they need to change something. It's me. A lot of times, it's you need to change.
How do I need
something.
to change?
Yeah. So like, a lot of times you're opposite for a reason. Don't tell them to be something that they're not. Like I can't tell Nikki to be extroverted. To Nikki, why can't you just talk more to people? Like why can't you
try.
just do that? I'm like no, that's not how. I would sleep on the couch for the next 3 days if I asked her to do that. Right?
Yes, you would.
Like the whole point is to like celebrate the kind of person that she is, right? Celebrate the kind of like celebrate her introversionness and help that be the portion that I actually could never be. I could never, even if I tried hard, I could never be that. So I need to celebrate that.
We talked about that once, and I'm leaving Nikki's eyes for that conversation just so everything you said, you would have her in mind. You'd remember that she's not too far from you. But that is very, very true. I think we talked about this once before, and I think it's coming down to the idea of you just have to be able to your values, which Janessa said, and you said, and we have agreement across the board with that. Now there is. All right, you're getting a question here that needs to come out. When we say you need to change, she goes, "Do you mean change to meet the needs of your partner?"
I mean change the way I see my partner. Like, I was speaking more, not changing like who I am, but changing the way I view the opposite, like of me. Like, I clarify, like I can't ask Nikki to change who she is. I have to celebrate who she is. I have to change the way I view who she is in relation to me. Does that make sense?
So yeah, I think that a lot of times, because our spouses may have differences to the way we would do things, we can easily confuse those as weaknesses, right? As blind spots, as negatives, right? And so I think our goal, should always be to be able to see those differences as strengths. So how can that help our marriage? How can it help our relationship, right? So I think there's value. I think that's what you're saying, right? Like celebrating the differences
and what it brings,
and also seeing how it enhances our connection.
Yeah. Okay, so I want to ask this question. So Maddie, I have a question for you. All right. So she's like, "Oh, you guys promised." You can even whisper it to mom if I have to give the answer, all right? So, for friends, either for friends or people you've hung around with or people you've liked to be around, are they usually a lot like you or are they different?
I don't know.
Like, do they have your same kind of personality? Or are they kind of like, we're different, but we like being around each other?
We're a little similar, kind of, I guess.
Like who? Talk about.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Well, Maddie, how old are you? What grade are you in? What grade are you in?
I'm gonna be in 7th grade in the fall.
Okay, you're in 7th grade. Okay, so I think they're around 6th, 7th grade is when you start to see that your girlfriends will start, like, they actually don't like a lot of the same things as you do. Like, you see a lot of changes in interest, I feel. Like, and this is coming from a youth pastor of 7 years where I've seen 2 groups of 7th graders come through. And it was right around 7th grade where they started to realize, like, me and Joanne actually don't have a lot in common, but we hang out quite often. So, who knows? I also heard, this is not a reflection of you, Maddie, but this is, so you can foresee the future and stop it there. They did a survey of the most mean group of teenagers. You know who they found? We're the meanest.
8th graders.
7th grade girls.
Yeah.
Oh,
Really? We need to pull Nate back on here and ask him if that's a true statement. Are 7th grade girls the meanest? Nate would be like,
I can just tell you right now what his answer is.
He has a girlfriend in every grade. He likes a girl from
really?
Since he was in kindergarten.
yeah. So I don't know about that.
Wait, say that again. Let me get that. Say that again.
Nathan has liked girls for like
Since he was in kindergarten.
Let me mind you, the first girl he had a crush on,
He
had a
liked her
crush on her because of the color of her shoes. So it's very innocent. Okay, but there's a girl in every grade that he likes, that he thinks is pretty, or likes her shoes, or likes something she's worn, or something. Her hair.
That was me. That was me growing up.
Get him, Nate. Well, and how? Well, now, not once again, not forecasting, but how successful? What was your success rate, Pastor Dave? You liked a girl each grade, each year. Did you guys become really close each year? That was your girlfriend, or what happened? You wanna know.
He wants to stay married.
So this is when I first got to the Bolingbrook Church. I shared this story about what my nickname was in middle school. And when I got to middle school, I was like, I should have a girlfriend by now. Like, what am I doing with my life? I gotta get my life in order. I gotta have a girlfriend. And so I went on asking out rampage, and I asked out. I didn't know how it worked, guys. I was in 6th grade. I don't know how dating worked. So I was trial by fire, and I got fired quite a bit.
He's burning, just always hot.
But here's the for all the young men watching. I didn't give up. I'll say that. I did not give up.
There you go.
And at the end of the month, I think it was a month-long campaign of finding a girlfriend. I dated a girl. Her name was Kim. I won't say her last name because she is still in the area and she may or may not be watching. I'm not sure. Who knows? And we dated for 3 days.
Yes,
There you go.
that's how they were in middle school. It was like,
And at the end of the campaign, I had a nickname, and it was Desperate Dave.
Desperate Dave. I remember that. Hey, this is good. You only find these things out at ECafe. Which is why, as like we're sitting in our hotel bed watching ECafe, we're very old and very dedicated to our church family. Yes.
you didn't say very old. You added very.
Oh, sorry. I probably heard the exclamation point. Maybe that's what that was. No, did I say very? Don't worry, we're on a 5-second delay. I'll take it out. Boop. Haha, we are very happy and very dedicated to our church family. She won't hear that. Good. I saved. It was saved. There's some agreement on the Mean Girls, by the way. They should say
7th grade.
Yep. They could be rough. Marcy said, "Oh no, Jazz is gonna be 6th grade. Should I send security with her?" Listen, Jazz.
5th grade was the meanest year for me. Not me being mean, but like in terms of girls being mean.
Listen, you're saying
Not 7.
for all you know, Jazz, you may need to send security for someone else with Jazz. That's I'm just.
Jazzy can hold her own, I feel.
Yeah. No, but that's what I'm saying. She may go in there and
Oh, that's right.
tear them down. There's a.
Just send Kevin with her. I feel like Kevin can be intimidating. Like just like my dad. My dad is a softie, but like he looks intimidating. So when Adrian came home for the first time to like meet my parents, my dad was sitting on the couch and he just had like this mean face on. And like I walked in and I was like, "Come on, Dad. Like that's not who you really are." And he started laughing. He was like, "Okay, I just."
It took him a while. When I first walked through the door, he kind of saw me. He went. And I was like, "Hey, oh cool, oh all right, cool, no problem." But then like as Leilani said, he's soft and like once he started, like we started talking about music, and he's like music, and his ears poked up. I'm like, "Got you, got you," and he loved me forever after that. We're in another room, like, gonna sing them ding dong bells way up in glory, a ding dong. We're just singing on the other room. It was no turning back. All right, there's a good question.
Look what Marcy said really quick.
Oh.
Well, good. Oh, Kevin said to her.
No boyfriends.
Well,
You know-
I mean, Dave, that's what I was thinking when you were telling the story. That story must have been when you were like 25 or 30, right? Because that's when we allow kids to start dating.
Yeah, okay, you're right.
25 or 30.
There you go.
My eyes rolling. That's where she got it from.
Oh, absolutely. There is a question here
That's
that
a legitimate.
Samara asked, which is a legit question here. So, to the earlier question about opposites attracting, and you saying if the values are there, we're good. So, what if one of the partners' relationships, it could be friendships, it could be work, over the years, stop sharing the values that you thought you have in common in the beginning of the relationship?
That's a great question.
Then what? Like, is it different between friendships as opposed to marriages, or different from marriages to work?
That's
like, what do you
tough,
guys think?
man. Oof, that's tough.
Yeah.
That's a
No,
tough
I
question.
feel
I can relate to that. I had a friend in college that her values definitely started taking a turn, and I sort of distanced myself from her, and we've never really had the same kind of relationship. So
I think it is different on the relationship, whether it's friendships or marriage, or work. Yeah, I think it's a good question, but yeah, I think I think that the sharing of values changing, the relationship commitment is obviously different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that you should
I think
kick your friend to the curb if they care about a certain thing. But I think even in friendships, there's certain things that when lines are crossed there that I think you need to communicate with them. But definitely in a marriage for sure.
Yeah.
so. For me, I think it depends on your why for starting the relationship, right? So, if I was starting a work relationship with somebody, it's because hey, we want to build this business, right? And we want to build this business to help the little children all around the world. Let's say that's the example. And somewhere in there, that was the reason we started. And whatever, 5 years in, the person's like, "No, I want to use this business to hunt baby seals." I'm sorry for any kids watching that are like, "Wait, that got dark fast." I'm sorry. And like for me, I'm like, well, we're supposed to do it to save the children, not hurt the seals, right? Like that to me means the reason we started, we're going in a different path for that, right? So the work relationship probably can't continue, right? So I'm trying to think like marriage-wise, right? Like married Leilani, part of why I believe we got married, I believe that, so let's say for me, I believe that, let's say God put us together to do something together that we couldn't do if we were apart, right? So put us together to accomplish a purpose that we couldn't do if we were separate of each other. So for me, even if her values started to shift because of where I believe we started, let's say she woke up and she was just like, yeah, I don't really know if our purpose is important, or I don't really know if God's important to me, or I don't really know. For me, if I would kind of I would turn and say, okay, God, well, I believe you put us together to accomplish something that we couldn't accomplish separately. So now what do you want us to do? Like with this shift that's happening in her, what does that mean for us based on why I believe we started? So I think that's where it would start for me. What was the purpose of how we started? And then that would determine how much the value shift matters.
I think it depends on how those values play out in day to day, right?
What do you mean?
Like, I don't know. I think certain values can be more impactful to the marriage to a marriage based on how they would impact or they get played out day to day. Like, let's talk about finances, right? Like getting out of debt, right? At one point, it was more important for you than it was for me, right? I'm the spender, you're the saver. So if we couldn't come to a place of alignment, eventually that could end up hurting our marriage because we constantly be conflicting, right?
If we're constantly
if right, I'd be spending money and you. So unless we were able to find a system that works within the differences of value, it could hurt our marriage. So I think it depends on what the value is and how it played out, you know. So
Man,
it's a tough question.
But I like that. You went to it. She said, to me, it's whether or not it hurts functionality, not whether or not you're different, right? I think that's the thing. Like if for example, the thing, like there are lots of people who have 40 happy years of marriage with one person always being a saver and the other person always being a big time spender. They just, it didn't really damage the functionality of their marriage. They were still able to function. They were still able to get what they needed out of each other out of their marriage. They're still able to support each other. They were still happy and satisfied. Now, if whatever it is that's different, like is leading to like, one person is gambling away your life savings and you kind of were really banking on those life savings, right?
Sure.
You're probably not as functional as you once were, right? I think that's where it comes down to in my mind. So yeah, I think that's how I would answer that. That's a good conversation point.
I'm just here to learn. I'm just learning from you guys.
Really?
I'm the newbie. I'm the newbie.
You're just waiting for the eyes to come back is what you're worried about.
Anything you say can be used against you in the eyes.
I'm saved by my parents. They just came over, and Nikki's talking to them, so we're good.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
I always feel like.
Jeff, were you gonna say about to say something?
No, I think it's a great question. It's a hard one too, and I think about it, and I think of other family members or friends who have gone through a similar shift of values changing, and sometimes it ends in the relationship ending, like a divorce. Other time it's other things that just cause scars, and they have just never been the same since because those values change so hard. So I guess the question, if you bring it, within our church family and say, okay, what happens if you have two couples and maybe their major value focus was, all right, we're going to be in ministry together, and that's it. That's what our number one value that we share and we hold on to. And then if those two people, that value drifts, and one person's like, I'll be a part of the church, but I'm not going to be in ministry full time. Or the other extreme of two people are, maybe they're baptized together and they come through together, and one person just says, I'm not going to be a part of this. I'm not interested in it at all. Yeah. That's the really hard thing to see, because that's expectations not only of the couple, but friends, family, that changes the social circle. So those values, when they shift, when they're, to that part, I think that's what I wonder, maybe to the group or to the chat, where do you go? Where do you go from there, and where do you turn? When those values shift.
So like you're used to having like the choir over at your house, and then eventually you've got like bikers pulling up to your house on your front lawn. Like life has changed. Life comes at you fast, right? It's
leather chaps.
I know. I get.
You're so I can't.
Don't go there. No.
I can't.
There's every now and then, Pastor. Every now and then, there's a. JV says struggles are needed in any relationship. It's a process to learn just how close you become, while helping each other balance life together. Yeah, no, it's hard. I mean, opposites can make you better, and opposites can push you away, and that's just. It is just
The nature of
yes.
relationships.
I've always said that my statement was that opposites attract, and then they get in a relationship together, and they complain about how opposite the other person is. Right? That's what I'm used to. And there is a question in chat about what's wrong with bikers and chaps. Was that to Pastor Dave? Is there,
Clearly.
or to me with the biker statement?
Clearly.
I'm just saying it's a different group. You would have to be able to figure out if you can reconcile the changes, man. You got to figure out if you can reconcile the changes. That's all, man. That's all. That's too far of a hard turn. So I can't go from there. What I will do there is I will land there if that's the case. Because I realized I just caught the time it was as we were rolling in this conversation, and it's
crazy.
Although what's wrong with bikers and chaps is probably not the best way to land our conversation.
How about no?
That being said, so I'll land it with this on the screen here. This is a much better place for us to land, and I think and the reason why we're landing here, that we are having today is Serve Sabbath, Serve Saturday, we'll keep branding exactly what we need. The space of service. Sorry, I'll stop talking. Today we are serving at church. So we are going to be meeting up at church. A bunch of people signed up. We're going to be helping with food pantry, feeding. I think they're washing cars, just having a good time, being the hands and feet of our Lord. So wherever you are, we wish you guys the happiest of Sabbaths. And as was said in the sermon today, don't focus on just being a cistern. You're a broken cistern, just trying to collect in liquid here that you can use. Can I say this? Yes, she's nodding my head. Yes, she goes. Yeah, you have time to say it. So I'll say it. Not just being a broken cistern. It was a powerful word and concept that he gave, and I want to make sure that we leave with this idea. Like the water that's collected in the cistern that they got, it eventually becomes stale, right? We're talking about rainwater. It did come from God at one point, but it's just stale as you hold it. It runs from the ground. They say that cisterns would pull in like dirt and mud and any kind of trash that was there. It can also slowly pass into a cistern, right? So water, a lot of time the cistern water was not the best or the healthiest in that time, especially. But I never really thought about it till he was talking about it in his sermon. The idea of living water, right? Like I always just said, oh, living water. Oh, he's just talking about Jesus because Jesus is alive and he's living water. So that's just what he means. But I guess I never really realized living water is water that's alive and always moving. Like when I was reading, they're saying that living water would be like a river, right? It's a river that's naturally occurring and there is no end. There's no like, oh, my cistern is now empty. There's no more water in it. He's like, he used that analogy so you can have this picture of a river that never stops, that is constantly providing, that there's constantly more. You're not like, I have to store up as much as I can. Even the woman at the well, like, he's like, hey, like living water, you would never have to, it would just be continually flowing. And rivers flow from a higher position to a lower one. So wherever you are here, I would say bad week, rough week, good time in your relationships, hard time in your relationships. Turn to the source of your living water, who has good resources passing down for you in good times and in bad all the time. Yeah?
Amen.
Amen.
I like that. I like
All
that.
right, we'll land there,
Amen.
family. There we go. That I saved it from the chaps. There we go. In the name of Jesus, we should all say amen.
Amen.
Amen. Blessing, guys. Love you guys. Happy
Bye.
Sabbath.